The tension in the geopolitical relationship between India and China has been going on for decades, and for now, tensions are far from calming down. Both countries share the longest disputed border in the world, in the Himalayas, rivalry for hegemony in the Indian Ocean. The competition between neighbors for land, natural resources, and influence in the region is becoming increasingly tense and could aggravate the conflict between these two nuclear powers. China and India are the Asian giants, an authoritarian state against a democratic system. They are respectively the second and fifth largest economies in the world. The closest direct confrontation occurred in 2020, with a clash on one of the most militarized borders in the world. With the expansion of regional conflicts, could the relationship between the two most populous countries on the planet worsen? In recent years, China and India have shown more rivalry than cooperation. Economic ties between the two nations remain strong, but diplomatic ties have cooled, and military and security ties have become very contentious. India and China also vie for hegemony in the Indian Ocean, the world's third largest ocean, and a vital route for international maritime trade, as it supplies resources such as oil and cereals. While China seeks to protect its new Silk Road and its maritime communications lines, India intends to establish itself as a regional leader and security provider. Both strategies have collided in the same geographical space. China has a stake in more than 20 ports in the Indian Ocean region, some of which have the potential for naval use. In fact, it set up a military base in the port of Djibouti, a small country located in the Horn of Africa. The port, built with Chinese capital, is strategically located at the intersection of one of the world's busiest maritime routes, connecting Europe, the Far East, the Horn of Africa, and the Persian Gulf. If this Chinese port, along with those in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Pakistan, also built with Chinese capital, are added, India begins to feel surrounded and threatened. These four ports are called Xinping's Pearl Necklace, and this is what worries India. For this reason, India began to intensify its presence in the Indian Ocean and increased its naval defense budget. The Indian government focused on key areas in the Malacca, Lombok, and Sunda Straits, the bottlenecks that connect the South China Sea with the Indian Ocean. Chinese warships have to pass through these straits to enter the Indian Ocean, and India wants to ensure that it can at least monitor these passages. The leaders of both countries seek to maintain good relations despite the tensions. In fact, they belong to the same groups aimed at countering Western domination, such as BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. In the last 2 years, China's economy has slowed down while India is growing, attracting foreign investment and gaining international confidence. There are burning issues that both nuclear powers have not yet resolved, such as the border dispute in the Himalayas and a race for hegemony in the Indian Ocean. India and China are neighbors, rivals, or declared enemies? Ask international analysts. How far can the confrontation between the Asian giants go? In the worst case, could a war break out between the two? Both know that this would not solve the problem, and that they need each other in economic and political areas. For now, and using chess terms, China and India have agreed to a draw. Neither of the two powers advocates for further escalation, but they also cannot back down. The tense relationship between China and India is a fascinating geopolitical issue that must be closely followed, especially because of what is at stake on the world stage.